Hello everyone, it's Megan. Welcome back to the library. Today we are covering some books. First of all, I just have to show you how appropriate my shirt is. It says librarian because book wizard is not an official job title. And that is so true because I basically feel like I'm a wizard. That's why I wore this shirt. I feel like I'm a wizard when I'm covering books because I feel like this is not the easiest thing to do. Like once you get the hang of it, it's not too hard, don't worry. But in the beginning, it like terrified me. Our drink of the video today is just some water, you know, stay hydrated. Very refreshing. Okay. I think in one other video I did before, I showed how to cover hardcover books, and I realized I've never showed you how to cover paperback books. So here we go. I'll point you down here in a minute so that you can actually like see what I'm doing. But this is a book I need covered, for example. I already put all the stickers on it. Obviously put everything you want like sticker wise underneath this, so you don't have to put any sort of little cover over the stickers, like label covers and stuff. So get all your stickers on there. And now the only supplies you're really gonna need, which I don't even have all the supplies. How unprepared am I? I'm gonna need a pair of scissors. My good scissors, I used to use scissors that came with the Cricut. They were the best little scissors ever, but I don't know where they are. At the move to the new school, that's like the one thing that got lost. So I'm gonna get some different scissors to see which ones cut this laminating film stuff the best. But you're gonna need some laminating film of various sizes, depending on what book you have. So there's like, this one's 9-inch, there's like 8-inch, 9-inch, 10-inch, 11-inch, 12-inch. I think I have basically one of everything, just in case, because all books are all different sizes, of course. Obviously you need your book. And you need something to be able to smooth out the bubbles. And there is a bone tool that people use, like you've probably seen it. You probably have one in your library, and I don't know where mine went, but honestly, I don't really like it as much as a card. This is an old library card I had to a public library in Ohio. I love this, and it's really good for getting the bubbles out. Lastly, before we actually get into it, I will say I did teach my library TAs how to do this, and some of them are very good at it. So I don't have to do this very often myself. I let my students do it. Some librarians like will not let students do this because, you know, it's not the easiest process and you can mess up. And that's the other thing that I wanted to say is that yes, this is easy to mess up on, and sometimes there's kind of no going back. There's like no really fixing it unless you were to take it off and start it over. But even if you have to take something off, like if it kind of messes up and you have to peel it back off and put it back on, it's going to mess up your labels. Like I'd have to reprint these stickers and stuff out. So I just try to be really careful. Some TAs I have are very scared of doing this because like when you cover hardcover books, it's much easier. And if you mess up, you can fix it pretty easily. But this, you can mess up pretty good on this. But if you know what you're doing, it's not so bad. So it used to take me, I don't even know, like 10 minutes per book when I first started. And then I got down to like 5 minutes per book. I think I can do it probably in like 3 minutes per book right now if I had to. So the first thing you want to do is choose the right size of laminating film. And like I said, you'll have all different sizes. And I have some from this is from Dimco, which is like a library company, and it was a little bit more expensive, and I kind of like the Amazon one better. This one's a little shinier, I guess. I don't know. I think you can get it in matte or glossy though, so I don't know. This is from Amazon, and I can tell because it's like the red, and this one actually says Dimco on it. But I just wanted to show you how like this would be way too big, right? This is like enormous. You want it about like one square, like one of these little squares, at least a square. I try to do a little bit more, maybe like more like an inch taller than the book. Oh, and by the way, I'm just making all this up. Like I'm not making it up, but you can find probably tutorials out there, like official ones, but I'll just show you kind of what I do. And see, this one's too little. This is not quite a square on either side. Like it's just very little. So what it will do is when you start like turning it down, to stick it onto the book, it won't have enough and it'll peel off. So you want it to be able to really come down pretty far so it doesn't peel back off. So let's try our medium sized. Yes, I think this should work a lot better. There we go. It's at least one square on both sides. So I think we're good with that size. Okay, I hope this angle is good. Sorry you can't see me too, but obviously that's really just like not possible. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're going to first cut how much of this that we need for this book. So we're gonna find approximately the middle of the book. We are going to measure it out. Now, what you're gonna want is at least more than probably a square, more like an inch. Like you're gonna want, 1.5 squares probably. I want probably about that much. I want, yeah, like about an inch on either side. And I want about an inch on this side. So I'm just gonna guess. It doesn't really have to be perfect. I'm gonna just kind of start cutting. I've learned if you lay the book on there, because a lot of the laminating film will wanna roll back up like that. So if you just kind of leave the book sitting on there, it won't roll back up. And if you have the same book, like a lot of times I'm covering like, multiple copies of the same book, then now I have the right size. So if I'm gonna go copy like, you know, cover 10 copies of the same book because I'm doing it for some sort of reading program or something, I'll just go, you know, I'll just measure this out again to be this exact size. And that's, you know, you don't have to measure the book every time, obviously. Like, that's pretty obvious. Now, you may think that once you peel this off and find the sticky part of it, that it'll want to curl up on itself and stick to itself, but it's like magic. It doesn't do that. It actually will lay flat once you get it apart. So you just try to get it apart the best you can. Some of them have a little strip at the top to be able to tear it off a little bit better. The Demco ones, I think, usually do. I'll show you what I mean. Yeah, like this actually has a little strip at the top. Here it is, right here. So that it's like really easy now to peel this part off and peel this part off. It comes divided right there, which the Amazon one does not. So there is that downfall, but you know, it is a little cheaper. So there's that, and you know, 2-day shipping and all that. So there we go. Okay, so like I said, see how it just lays down? It does not want to curl up on itself, which is awesome. Now this part has to be done standing up. I feel like you have to stand up so that you can see directly on top of the book to make sure that you are getting it even this way and even this way. Like you want it straight in the center, not too high up, not too far over to one side. And kind of once you stick it down, that's it. Like you're done. Like that's okay. So I definitely stuck it kind of crooked. Like there's more at the bottom. There's definitely more at the bottom than the top, but that's all right. You can see not the best job, but not the worst. It's okay. It doesn't matter. It does not have to be perfect. Now, this is the tricky part with the air bubbles. You will get bubbles. It's going to happen. And this black book will show up even worse, I feel like, too. So I picked the wrong book to really do this with to show you because it's going to have air bubbles. But if you just flop this straight down, the chances of getting bubbles, that's going to be greater. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to just gently, like you're going to have to actually roll the book down. Just gently roll it down. Okay. We'll deal with the bubbles in a minute. Now we're going to gently roll this side down too. Okay. Now, if the book is really thin, it will stick to itself. So like this piece is going to want to stick to this piece if the book is really super thin, like a graphic novel, and it'll come back apart. So it's okay. Don't worry about it. But I have bubbles. I don't know if you can see, but there are bubbles in this book. So that's what this is for. We're now going to, oh, it is sometimes the most satisfying sound of getting those bubbles out. It'll crackle. And see, there'll be some teeny tiny ones, and those are just going to stay there. And you just have to be okay with it. Like, I'm okay with it. Because I guess I'm kind of a perfectionist, but I'm not so much that I'm going to be like, you know, dying inside if I have one air bubble. Now on the front, I'll try maybe a little bit harder, especially because this book, like I said, it's black. But even if you don't see bubbles, you still want to do this just to really make sure it's stuck. That's what I do. So I'm going to make sure it's super duper stuck. Okay, now the spine, I would do the same. Oh, there's a bubble. Didn't see that one. Get out. Get out. Get out. Oh, what is this book, by the way? This Delicious Death. It's a girl eat girl world. Interesting. Is there like a cannibal in this? I'm thinking it might be about a cannibal. It's definitely horror. It says this summer is going to get gory. Oh, wow. Yeah, there's cannibalism in it. Somebody kills a boy in a boy band or something. I don't even know. Eats them, something like that. Okay, now comes time for the cutting. Oh, yeah. So you do the spine, too. Did I say that? Yeah, you want to press down the spine. Now, the cuts are important because obviously that's how we're going to turn and fold this under. So this part can't really be messed up too badly, thank goodness. But what you're going to need to do is basically you've got to cut off the corners. If you just cut straight, I mean, you can just cut straight. Now, you might accidentally chop off a little bit of the corner. That's okay. I've chopped the corners of the books before. But instead of making one straight cut, I like to kind of cut one, and then I like to get a little closer and cut the other one. I feel like it turns under a little bit better. Now, you can save your corner pieces here if you want to. It is optional. I kind of lay them over here because later, once we turn this under, you can actually reinforce the corners with these. I learned that at a training I just recently went to about how to do book repair. They said the best way to repair books is just kind of be proactive and not need to repair them in the first place. So we'll talk about that more in a minute. But okay, so I've cut both corners, right? But how am I going to fold it under here at the spine? So what you're going to want to do is you got to cut it. You got to make one slit right here, but you can't make it too close to the spine or it won't be able to turn under right here, right? So I don't cut it too close. I actually cut it quite far. Okay, that might be too far. At least it'll turn under. So now we're ready to turn under. If you just start here, your chances, or this side, your chances of getting it crooked is going to be greater. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to start from the middle and just start turning it under and then work your way out. Okay, and then work your way this way. And it may not be perfect, and you know, it's fine. But see how I don't have very much here? I should have probably cut it a little bit bigger, or I think I just didn't put it centered is what it was. I didn't put the book in the center of this laminating film because you're gonna want it to come pretty far over so that this doesn't like peel off or anything like that. And you're gonna wanna do the same for the bottom. Start at the center. There we go. I just kind of go for it. Oh, and I forgot to make the slit in this one. So you're gonna wanna make your slit. And you'll find what scissors work for you, because some scissors work better than others for sure. Sometimes I can't get this to cut at all. Like I said, my little Cricut scissors were the best. So if you have any of those, highly recommend. Starting at the center, there we go. Now we're gonna deal with these pieces last. That'll be all that's left. Now we're gonna do the exact same thing to the back, where we are going to make our slits in the corners. Like I said, save your corners if you want to. I don't think this book's gonna be so popular that it's gonna be like falling apart, you know, a lot. I usually try not to even order paperback books, but this was like free books, I think, that I got from Junior Library Guild. I got like so many free books for something. I can't even remember why now, but okay, now we're gonna make our slit. And make our other slit. Once again, you might cut the book. That is okay. See how I have a nice amount to turn under right here? That's good. Now I'm gonna just turn her under. And see, I got it kind of messed up inside here, but it doesn't matter. Nobody's gonna see that part. Turn this part under. Turn this part under. Okay. There we go. Now, all we have left is this piece and this piece, like little flaps, right? So what I do is and I do it however you want, but I make kind of a rough cut first just to get some of this out of the way. And then I'm gonna go back in a minute and make it closer. Right? And this is gonna get stuck to your scissors, and your scissors are gonna get goopy and sticky and gross. And then you'll have to clean them. And that's what'll happen. I just kind of, you know, clean them every so often when needed. But what you're gonna wanna do now, there's still just some little pieces hanging out that are frayed. I don't know how well you can see this. These scissors are so big. It's easier with smaller scissors. But I'm just gonna go through and just cut, you know, close. This is the one part I do like to be really particular. I hate it when there's pieces sticking out the top. That looks pretty good. And of course, you're going to get a bunch of little pieces. I have sometimes even cut the book doing this. It's okay. Kids won't notice. And you know what? It'll keep the book from getting damaged. Okay, so I made my rough cut right now. I've still got some little pieces sticking out. Ooh, it got some under my fingernail too. And then I just go back and just chop, 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 chop. Okay, pretty good. So that's what a finished book would look like. Now it's protected, you know, it's turned under here. Oops, I got sticky stuff on it. Oops, I got sticky stuff on the back too. It's protected here. And like I said, if you want to reinforce the corners, you can take one of these corner pieces that you cut. We'll just do one on the back just to show you. You could take one of these and you could stick it about right there, kind of right at the corner. You could turn it under. Turn this under, and it looks, you know, you kind of see a little square shape in the corner there, but it's kind of reinforced this corner now so that it's not going to want to tear. Not that this would probably, I mean, sometimes they do fray on the corners though, so it's not really a bad idea to do that. Maybe we could go ahead and do this corner too. While I'm doing the back corners, I don't know, but just kind of, you know, turn it under. Like I said, I learned that at a little training I went to about book repair. They said, well, you know, try to just make it so that it's sturdier in the first place. Now for elementary schools and maybe even middle schools, if the books are being circulated more, they're being harsher on the books, then you might definitely want to cover your corners with these little corner pieces. Oh, so that is one reason to try to keep your corner pieces intact. And I know I was cutting this sometime in two pieces. I try to keep it in one, even if I make two separate cuts. I try to cut it in, you know, one big piece so that I can stick it on. Because you can actually buy these, like these little wing things. They sell them, apparently, that you can buy to reinforce the corners. But why, you know, pay for them when you can literally just use your scraps from the covering to use them for the corners. So here she is in all her glory. Looks pretty good to me. I mean, yeah, there's some bubbles, but like I said, it's just gonna happen. Sometimes when the book's black, you can see more bubbles. Sometimes it's just the way it is. But like I said, you can also get glossy. I think I like the glossy better. I think this is the matte finish, and I think the bubbles show up more on the matte finish. So maybe try getting the glossy one. I think that's what I had here with the Demco. It's like much shinier. I think I kind of like the shinier books better than the matte books. I don't know how I wound up with this matte stuff anyway. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this was at least somewhat helpful to you, because I know when I first started, they didn't teach you this in library school, that's for sure. I wish they had, because that is something that would be really beneficial to know how to do. In fact, I watched YouTube videos for like hours, I think, trying to learn how to do this, and like I'd pause and I would do that step, and then I'd pause and I'd do the next step. And it was a lot, but I covered a bunch of books one summer for a teacher here. She had bought AP textbooks for like a world history or something class, and they were paperback. And so she wanted them to last a long time, but she needed like 60 books covered. And so I took it home over the summer and I did them during the summer while I was like listening to audiobooks and watching TV and stuff like that. So I covered all of her books, and then I helped covered like 30 science department books too. So once you do that many, you can do it almost like mindlessly. I don't get to do it very often, like I said, but I teach my TAs to do it, and you just have to find the right person. Like if you have an aide or somebody to help you, it has to be somebody that is meticulous and, you know, wants to do it. Some things that have gone wrong in the past is that I've had TAs who one, they were scared to do it, but two, they thought that they were good at it, but they really weren't, because they would cut this way too small and it would be peeling off. Like it would barely even fold down on the sides and the top. And so they would just like peel off constantly, or they would just put it on really loose and not press it down. And anyway, things can go wrong with this for sure. And like I said, if you ever have to take it off, that's difficult to do. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you have questions down below. I'll try to answer them. I'm by no means an expert on this. I just happen to now know how to do it. So I will talk to you guys again soon. Bye.